Hello, welcome again to another Women of Strength podcast. Today we're doing a Mother's Day podcast, and so I have my daughter with me again. She was with us last week, and I just thought it was just so appropriate to lead into Mother's Day having Lindsay with me. Our heart this Mother's Day is to encourage you, no matter where you're at, no matter what you're going through. Jesus knows right where it is. He knows right where you're at. He knows everything you're going through. And I want you to know that we both realize that there's a lot of women out there that are in situations that maybe you don't have custody of your children, or maybe even worse, you've lost a child. That child's with Jesus. Maybe you are wanting children and you can't have children. But our hearts today are to encourage you in any way that we can, to just give you the joy of the Lord and let you know that Jesus Christ knows exactly where you are. He said he will never leave you. He will never forsake you. And if God created man in his own image, that also means he created woman. So he knows better than anybody a woman, a mother's heart. And he's going to do something amazing in your life. So have hope today. Be encouraged today and know that wherever you are, Jesus isn't going to leave you there. He has a better plan, and he loves you. So here we are today. This is Lindsay again.
Hello.
My daughter. We spoke last week on teenage pregnancy. And the week before on abortion. So those were kind of heavy issues. But today we wanted to really focus on Mother's Day. And, you know, our country, Lindsay, honors Mother's Day. It's not a national holiday. It should be, right?
Yes.
I know. You know, growing up, we made it a national holiday. We even would like play hooky from church and go to Six Flags on Mother's Day. Remember that?
Yes.
It was so much fun. I know it. But the thing is that in my mind, a mother was, growing up, somebody that put the bandage on the scraped knee that you would go to and tell certain things that you would never tell your daddy.
Oh, yes.
Especially because you knew you'd get in way big trouble.
Yeah.
She was also, of course, because I'm 48, she was also somebody that stayed home and made dinner. And it was always this awesome dinner. I can remember thinking, what are we having tonight? And everybody was home, all the kids were home, and that's not a negative reflection on working women at all. That's just a reflection of the times, you know, way back when. And you women that are working and taking care of your children and supporting your husband, I just want you to know that I don't even have the words to commend you on everything you are juggling. It is, we were so spoiled back in the day where, you know, you didn't have to have two incomes. You know, the mom could stay home or just pursue her personal dreams or just stay with the kids, you know. And so there's nothing wrong. Let's not get into that issue. There's nothing wrong with being a working mom. You're great. We cheer you on. And
Well, it's like what you said last week on the podcast. Once you're a mother, you're always going to be a mother. And so, you know.
That's true.
Mother's Day.
You're going to have to ignore my weird faces. I know I'll make you laugh. I'm not trying to. But the thing is that let's focus on is we want to honor all you mothers.
Yes.
Working mothers, stay-at-home moms, single moms, young moms, all of you moms that are moms but you don't have your kids with you. We don't want to discourage you today at all. We want to encourage you, and we thought we'd just share our story. So just drop all the, well, I'm a working mother, you know, and because you know, I'm just telling you right now, I couldn't have done it. I could not have done it. My kids would have been neglected big time. Child services would have been there. It would not have been pretty. Well, anyway, so, but our story is to honor you the best that we can and let you know that we appreciate everything you're doing.
Yes.
And you're not doing it, you're not failing. I know right now that some of you are thinking, I'm not being enough. I'm not doing enough, and I'm tired. But I want you to know something. You're doing an awesome job, and you're making a difference. And Jesus sees right where you're at. My dad was in the Navy. He'd come home from work if he wasn't deployed somewhere for a year. And he was so good. He'd always spend like an hour in his uniform playing with myself and my brothers in the yard, wrestling with us. And then we'd go in, and because he gave us an hour, he would say, now it's time for your mom and me to have time, and we knew to, okay, thanks, Dad. We bolted. Him and Mom hung out, and then dinner was ready. We ate. We always ate together. I feel really old. We always ate together. You kids were raised on kids' cuisines.
We were raised on macaroni and cheese and hot dogs.
And kids' cuisines.
And we never had dinner together.
Yeah, because Dad was gone with the strength team all the time. But I let you pick out your kids' cuisines.
Yes, we did.
I'm such a good mother. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. But obviously, the times have changed, and you can't beat yourself up over the way things are now. I mean, it's never going to be like it used to be. But the thing that is phenomenal and consistent is Christ. He's the same today, yesterday, and forever. He's never going to change. And he understands the change of times and the way things were way back when I was a kid and the way things were when you were a mama. And so anyway, I did know this, though, Lindsay. I knew that for me, I always felt like my mom was kind of fragile, that I couldn't really go to her if anything really serious came up because I didn't want to hurt her. And so, you know, I always knew I wanted kids, so I got married and I raised my kids. I was a stay-at-home mom. I didn't go out of the house to work, and we needed the money, but somehow I was married to this amazing man who said, it's more important that you're home with the kids than you're out working, because we're never going to be able to pay somebody to do what you're going to do and take care of our kids that we can trust. So anyway, tell me your perspective, and be honest, be brutal. Go ahead. It's okay.
Well, I actually have a lot of good memories just when growing up, and we lived in Texas. I was born in San Antonio, and I always have memories of you always having fun with us, and no matter what situation it was always going to be fun. We were going to make it fun. You were going to make it fun. And I just remember always I was able to come to you about everything, and you were always the protector. Like, we would come to you. You know, my dad wasn't there a lot when we were younger,
because he was doing ministry.
But he was doing ministry.
He wasn't a deadbeat dad. He was doing ministry.
Yeah, but the good thing is I do have a lot of good memories about Dad, and so, but today's about you.
Okay, let's talk.
Talking
That's
about you.
Father's Day.
So, but I just remember being able to come to you about everything. You were always very, very open. We were able to talk to you about pretty much anything and not feel shame or guilt.
Good.
And you know, and like I said, it was a very fun childhood. I remember skipping school, being able to go to Six Flags.
Okay, this is something I did every year with the kids.
Yeah.
Every year, no matter how your grades were, I would take one of the kids out of school, and the other two, the day before, the other two knew they had to go to school, and they knew that whoever it was that was staying home could sleep in while they had to get up early and go to school. And then we were going to go do whatever you wanted to do. I remember one time you wanted to go horseback riding, and so I found this place where Lindsay and I went horseback riding. And like with the boys, one of them wanted to go see a car show. Oh yeah, joy. So we went to see the car show. Okay. And then, you know, it was always about whether you were succeeding or failing in school. That wasn't the issue. The issue was spending a day with Mom at home where it was just fun. Just in my mind, it was something that kept you thinking life is still fun no matter what's going on with school, good or bad. It's not a reward. It's not a punishment. It's just me and Mom hanging out. Plus, I could stay up late, you know, with Mom, because my dad was gone with Power Team. I could sleep in, and they're having to get up early. And then when any of the others came and complained, you will hear my grandkids yelling in the background because her husband Mark has got them all in one room and watching them while we do this. So because this is a family podcast, you will hear them and you will recognize that soothing scream of terror and be comforted. So anyway, but it was like, for me, it was fun for me too, because it was something I wanted to do, and I knew that it would be memory-making moments, and I wanted you to have memory-making moments no matter what.
Yeah, and I even remember when you had lupus and when through the drug addiction, that I still had really good memories of you.
Really?
It didn't affect me, and to this day I'll think about it, but it didn't affect me as much as probably other people would think that it would affect me.
Yeah, but why is that though, Lindsay? What do you think that is?
I've prayed about it, and I think I don't know. I honestly to this day don't really know why.
It must just be the grace of God.
It probably is, and
Yeah.
but I just always remember good things about you. I don't remember anything bad about you. I know that we went through hard times with the drug addiction and with the lupus and stuff.
Being on Teen Challenge for 10
But you
months.
were always, even that, you always were a good mom. You would try your hardest about everything.
Can you think what made me a good mom? Okay, I'm going to lead you into this question. Did I listen?
Yes. You listened. You were not just a mom, but you were the pat on the back. It's okay. You were the friend. You were pretty much all the roles that...
But on the other hand, was I a disciplinarian?
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
Fear.
Don't bring back that memory. That is.
Because your dad was gone all the time, and I knew that. And that's why it's so hard for us women to surrender control and really trust Jesus, because we're geared to be raising our kids. I'm going to listen. I'm going to play all the roles. And then there's this time where God says, okay, just let him go and trust me with him. And we're like, wait a minute. No one prepared me for that. And
yeah.
So.
I can't wait for those days. I'm really enjoying being a young mom right now and enjoying the 2-year-old. Well,
how old are you?
I'm enjoying it, but almost 24.
No, their kids aren't 24. How old are your kids?
Oh, I thought you said how old are you? Sorry. I have a 6-year-old, I have a 2.5-year-old, and I have a 5-month-old. And the 2-year-old stage is coming around. A lot of screaming, throwing fits.
Yeah, if a toy doesn't work,
it's not. So we're trying.
It's fine.
We're trying to work on. If you need help, just say, "Mommy, help, please."
No,
we're working on potty training right now, and the baby is 5 months, so he's got
lays there and
laughs at everything. And Marcus is going through his big boy stage. He's in kindergarten. He's getting ready to be in 1st grade next year. But he's going through being a big brother, and he's starting to do more chores. But I just love. I love being a mom. I love...
You really, you do. You can tell. I just have to say this. Lindsay is one of the most gifted singers I've ever heard in my life. Okay, every mother says that, yeah. But I'm telling you, she really has a gift. We've had people say for years, why isn't she on American Idol? And the thing is that Lindsay loves being a mom. She loves she loves the strength team. She loves that her husband is involved in this ministry where they're seeing lives change and people come to Jesus. And I honestly think that every woman has it in them to love being a mom. But I also think every woman has it in them to do more if they need to. But they should have peace no matter what they're deciding to do. And you really have peace. What do you think that is? What do you attribute that
Well,
to?
in the beginning, when I first was a mom, I didn't have
Well, how old were you?
I was 17 when I had Marcus, but
I wouldn't have peace either.
as you mature and grow, if you are a young mom out there and you're going through a tough time right now where you have a baby, I just want to encourage you that it will get better. Maturity level wise, I think it really comes with maturity, because I was 17 when I had Marcus. Everything was just always frustrating.
Why was it frustrating though? Was it about you or the baby?
It was about me. And it was about not being able to go do whatever I want. And Mark and I were just married, newlyweds, and so financially it was. So all my friends were able to, go do stuff that I wasn't able to do.
College and planning their futures.
And
and you were having a baby.
Yeah, and I was raising a baby. But now, looking back on it, and I think also the Lord just really led me through a healing process.
Oh, that's good.
And I also had to pray for that and ask people.
That's really good, Lindsay, because whatever you've gone through, if you're in a situation where you've lost custody of your kids and you're not where you want to be as a mom, what Lindsay just said is such a key. You pray through it. God is a good God, and if you don't believe that, I'm telling you, He's a good God.
Yes.
I mean, you've heard our testimonies. You know what we've been through, and He's not like no respecter of persons. He knows right where you're at, and even if you've had a mother that wasn't a good example. If you had an abusive mother or an absentee mother, and a lot of kids today, Lindsay, they really have abusive moms that are, I mean, we all read the news. We read the news about what's going on with mommies and little 2-year-olds, and we're all horrified. But I'm telling you, there's a devil out there who wants to destroy, just like he wants to destroy the father's role, he wants to destroy a mother's role. So this is a good point for me to tell you this. I looked up in the dictionary, mother in Webster's, good old Webster's, I had to put my eyes on. Do I look better? Okay, don't answer that. Okay, it said in Webster's that characteristics of a mother were somebody who has maternal affection. So we're not even talking biological here. It's maternal affection. I mean, I see little baby mice, and I want to go rescue them. I know, Fightful. I want to go rescue them. I don't want to hear about the disease. They're cute. I want to hear maternal affection. You know, and then, and then this is what the definition is. Poor Johnny, he's watching it going, I'm not a mom. Okay. So anyway, this is the definition of a mother. Something, I would say someone. Something would be the mother mouse. Okay, anyway. Sorry. Something that gives to or exercises protective care over something else. Protect. A mother is a protector.
Yes.
God made us to protect. Whether they're your biological children, your adopted children, kids you're just helping taking care of down the road. I think I could say this, our cameraman, Johnny, his wife, Charity, she's awesome, just like Johnny. And every time you see them, they've got kids.
I know.
They're not their kids, but they're somebody else's kids. Every time you see them, they're always out there going out to, I don't think you've said camping, but because they're always girls. I think Johnny went camping with the boys before, but they're always out there nurturing and taking care of these kids and just really ministering to them.
They're mentors.
And they're mentors, but the thing is that's that mothering heart. I want to protect you and take care of you. We all know people like that who want to protect and want to take care. My other daughter-in-law, married to your brother, Michael, Allison, she's always out there with the neighborhood kid whose both parents are working all the time, and he's over at the house, or now it's a she, is over at the house. She's feeding him, taking care of him. And that blesses my heart.
I know. It's funny that you talk about protective, because I think it's probably one of the main natural instincts for a mother, because I know that if Marcus is at school and I get a phone call from his school, right away, all of a sudden, I'm ready to defend. What has happened? Has he gotten in a fight?
That's the lion's mother instinct.
No, but it's also, protect, and like
no, you're right.
I'm going to share a little story today, but today I got a call from Marcus's school, and he had a little accident today at the playground. He had an accident in his pants, and
so he didn't take the time to go potty.
My main concern was, are people making fun of him?
Aww.
How are the teachers acting with him? Are they
kids.
protecting him?
Yeah.
And when I went in there, I was kind of saddened because he was just kind of sitting in the middle of everybody, and his pants were all wet. So people that walked by him, and he looked so embarrassed. I felt very bad. And so, but just that natural protective, you don't want anything to happen to your children. You don't want any bad stuff to happen, and you always want to protect them.
And as a mother, that protective instinct that God gave all mothers, and you got my point that it's not a do we hear the screaming of children down below? Daddy's the bear and they're getting them. Anyway, you don't have to have a biological child to feel this. God put it in us. Yeah, and I believe he even put it in men. If God created us to protect, but that's what mother was in the dictionary, the protector. And it's like, so I don't want you to get hung up on, if you're feeling an instinct to protect somebody, God gave that to you, and it's a good thing. But I have to say, there were some times that my instinct to protect probably didn't really glorify the Lord very much. Like at baseball fields when somebody was wanting to beat up my kid. I'd be in the fight with the mother.
Oh, that is one thing I have to say.
What?
I totally got back memories from you saying that. Sorry. I really did forget. She was always over the top with everything. Like, if somebody did something wrong to one of us, or it wasn't like my dad would be walking out of the grocery store as my mom would be like, no, we're going to talk about this. We're going to deal with this right now, as my dad's slowly veering away. Okay, we're leaving. But you always, yeah, I do remember that you always were very dominant, protective.
I was the animal, like, you know, and I think I could tell this. I remember we moved to San Antonio, and poor my son, try not to mention his name, my oldest son, he was 5 years old. We were unpacking boxes in San Antonio. And this 18-year-old girl that lived by this house down the road came by, and she goes, are you guys just moving in? Yeah. Do you have a little boy? It's like 5, yeah. Well, he's down at the end of the street, and these little boys are trying to tell him to take his pants off. And I'm like, oh, dear God. So I go running. Okay, if you're offended by this, wake up and smell the coffee, baby girl, because it's happening all around us. Just call me, I'll come take care of it. Anyway, it's like I run down, and there's this little 5-year-old boy, my son, and he's standing there with his shorts around his ankles. I'm like, what are you doing? Well, they said they'd give me their Halloween candy if I